and prepare for the noble war. Stand calm. I know the secret. I know what's coming, and I know no one can stop me, including myself. I've heard a lot worse. Cool. Can you tell me some? I like stories. No. Okay.
Classroom, or in old language a couple thousand years ago, disciples, those who are trying to prepare themselves for entry into the evolutionary level above human, synonymous with the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven.
23-4 سال پیش تو این حیات با بچه‌های سپاه با فرماندهان سپاه حدود شاید 20 نفر بودن، نماز خوندیم. بعد من نشستم رو پله یه صحبت گرم و گیرایی کردم، قبلا هم فکرشو نکرده بودم. خدای متعال همینطور حرف میزد، در واقع زبان من بود، حرف خدا بود.
We're going to talk to you about the most urgent thing that is on our mind, and what we suspect is the most urgent thing on the minds of those who will connect with us. We'll title this tape Planet Earth About to be Recycled. Your only chance to evacuate is to leave with us.
این آقا یعنی مقام آزاد رهبری وقتی میخواست از بدن مادر خارج بشه گفت یا علی. مردم، رهبر شما کسی است که با ورودش یا علی گفت و در طول زندگی یا علی گفت و تو حزب اللهی باید تا ابد پشت سر این رهبر یا علی بگویی.
Planet Earth about to be recycled. Your only chance to survive or evacuate is to leave with us.
سال 2012 برای اولین بار نماینده
دقیقاً 10 سال پیش
نماینده خامنه‌ای به سپاه حجت الاسلام سعیدی رسما اعلام کردش که سپاه یک ابزار نظامی برای زمینه‌سازی ظهور و از اونجا دیگه این فرقه افراطی مهدویت شکل گرفت و داستان جدی شد. دوباره امسال نماینده جدید خامنه‌ای در سپاه این رو تکرار کرد و گفتش آخرین مسئولیت سپاه فراهم کردن زمینه سازی ظهور هستش.
Rick, help our listeners understand what defines a cult.
Well, I think of myself as a relative conservative on that point, and I think it's important to have a very firm and concise definition, because we don't want to call everything a destructive cult. Very few groups measure up to that definition.
کسایی که مخالف قرارداد سپاه در لیست تروریستی هستن میگن که سپاه یک ارتش نرمالی هستش، ارتش دولت ملت نرمال. اما پاسخ به این افراد این هستش که سپاه پاسداران یک سازمان ایدئولوژیک اسلامگرای افراطی هستش که هیچ تفاوتی با داعش و القاعده نداره، چه از نظر عمل چه از نظر عقیده.
And I would say there are three core characteristics that form the nucleus for a definition of a destructive cult. And they were first identified by psychiatrist Robert J. Lifton in the 80s in a paper that was published at Harvard University, Cult Formation. The first and most single salient characteristic of a destructive cult is an omnipresent leader that is dictatorial, that runs everything. Whatever he says is right. Whatever he says is wrong, frequently very charismatic. And this leader becomes an object of worship for the group. He controls everything.
I hope for your sake that you at least ponder this, that you go into the privacy of your closet. Don't ask your neighbors, your friends, what they think of this. You go see if you can connect with the purest highest source that you might consider God.
My question is, given all these demotions, what is your personal religion, or is there any type of God to you? Like, is there a purpose, given that we're just sitting on this speck in the middle of this sea of stars?
This is as scientific. This is as true could be, but you have to know me. You have to trust me. You have to believe me.
No, I don't want to duck any questions. And I'm not going to duck this one. But let me ask you, what do you mean when you use the word God?
It's almost better that you never see me or hear what we say, for that will put you to the test of whether or not you will condemn me, whether or not you will judge me.
It seems that through the ages, humans have created a mythological framework that has always involved some kind of higher spiritual powers. As that goes away, as we know more and more and it seems harder and harder to prove that anything might exist like that, where does that leave us?
On our own. Which to my mind is much more responsible than hoping that someone will save us from ourselves so we don't have to make our best efforts to do it ourselves.
Now, the reason this is such an interesting time is not only because we're on the threshold of the end of this civilization, because it's about to be recycled, but because of where that finds us, where that finds you, where that finds those who would judge us, how we would speak of them and how they would speak of us.
And if we're wrong, and there is someone who steps in and saves us, okay, that's all right. I'm for that, but we, hedged our bets.
Part of our test of faith is our hating this world, even our flesh body, enough to be willing to leave it without any proof other than what we have come to know, that we have nothing to fear.
So whenever you see a group that has at its center this leader who can never be questioned, who is infallible, who can never be wrong, and who is not accountable through any checks and balances, not elected, but rather self-proclaimed, self-chosen, and dictatorial and absolute in his or her power, that's a big red flag, and you're probably dealing with a destructive cult.
اعلام کردش که سپاه یک ابزار نظامی برای زمینه‌سازی